Hey, did I ever tell you about the time I went to Africa and got discriminated against? I'm Lucky Lewis, and this is Lucky the Bard. What it do, traveler? So I figure if I was going to start telling stories from my travels, I might as well start at the beginning. The first trip I ever took internationally was to Egypt. So I wanted to study history, and I had some amazing experiences while in Egypt. But this particular story is about a little cruise that I took. I decided to take this cruise, and my tour guide was like, oh, it's great. It's a tourist cruise. I can't remember exactly how many days it was, but the cool thing about it is that it would go down the Nile River, and it was going to stop at different major tourist attractions along the way. I actually had my own guide who was traveling with me. The guy has master's degrees in English and history, and he was absolutely amazing. We would stop at every single at the different temples and tombs, and he would read the hieroglyphics and tell me the history of it and point out things that I definitely would have never noticed on my own. So it was pretty cool. But the funny thing about it is that I wasn't told that it was a German cruise. So literally all of the passengers were German. So I'm walking through, and the first day, and I'm absolutely surprised to see that everyone there is just speaking German. But I did see one couple that was speaking English. So I approached them. It was this 60-year-old lady. She was actually from Wales, and her husband was my age. He was 30, and he was from Africa. Oh, by the way, I did later on find out that that is a thing where European women go to Africa and find much younger husbands, but that's a whole nother video. But anyway, the funny thing about it is I started talking to them. They were really cool, nice couple. I was having a great conversation with them. We ended up hanging out most of that first day. Well, the funny thing is it came time for dinner. So we go down to dinner, and they actually had all the tables already set up for us, and they had our name tags on little placards. So I'm walking around, I'm looking for my name tag, and I don't see it anywhere. So I go to the crew member, one of the crew, and I was like, hey, I don't see my name anywhere. And he says, oh, yeah, okay, I'll show you where yours is. And he actually takes me out of the dining room to this little separate room that was off to the side. And there was only 3 name placards there. And I was like, well, this is weird. Like, I'm in my own little tiny room. Well, then, all of a sudden, the woman from Wales and her husband come in, and they were the other 2 people. And I was like, wait, what's going on? And the woman actually calls the crew member over. And I mean, this lady was not having it. She was like, excuse me, why are we in this room? And the crew guy, he says something, it blew my mind. He goes, well, the problem is that the dining room is reserved for Europeans only. This room is for African dining. I couldn't believe my ears. That woman, oh my God, like I cannot describe it. She hit the roof. She started screaming, yelling, like calling for managers, and just, I mean, she went full Karen on them, okay? And she was just demanding. She wanted to talk to the captain. She wanted to know why they were segregating her and her husband. She was like, I want for me, my husband, and our friend here to be in the dining room with everyone else. So the staff freaks out, and they start pulling the tables and arranging everything to have us sitting there. To go sit in the main dining room. Now, the funny thing about that is that the next day when we came down for dinner, everything was set up, but I started looking for my name, and sure enough, I almost could have predicted it. The 3 of us were seated together in one table, and every other table was around us. We were in the dead center of all of the German couples. So it's like they made sure that she could not complain about being excluded at all. So it was a pretty funny experience. I could actually talk about that cruise all day. Since there weren't very many English-speaking people, I ended up spending most of my time hanging out with the crew. That was really cool because that was my first ever real experience with people from another country, and just sitting down, pulling out my phone, showing them videos, and these guys they don't have smartphones and they don't have internet access like I do. So I was showing them all sorts of cool things, and we were teaching each other about our culture. The guys were asking me a lot of really funny questions because everything they know about America, they learn from watching movies. And it was really funny because one guy, he was like, I don't understand. He was like, America has the smartest, fastest police in the world. Why is it that they can catch any murderer, but if I am in Central Park and a man says, give me your wallet, why can't the police catch him? And I was trying to explain that you're basically watching two different types of movies there. It just depends on the story they want to tell. I think the funniest question came from one guy. He said, Mr. Lewis, America is dreamland, but you have no big women. I like big women. Why are all American women so skinny? I said, my friend, you've been watching too many movies, all right? If you come to America, there will be no shortage of big women for you to admire, all right? So it was pretty funny. That was the first time I got to learn that pretty much what the world knows about us, they know from watching American movies. So that's the day's story. This is my new format. I plan on getting a lot of my stories recorded. I don't think I'll be backpacking as much in the future, so I want to record them before they fade from memory. If you like this, do me a favor, hit like, that way I know you were there. Consider subscribing to my YouTube channel if you'd like to see more videos like this and hear more of my crazy stories. And until next time, I'll see you in the world.